Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jewel Onuk, and hi, welcome to another episode of Enigma by Jules. So I know you'll be wondering like what's going on, a new channel. I'm going to discuss that at the end of this story. So guys, today is another get ready with me and true crime, because literally I'm so lazy and last time when I was doing this video I was like, you know what, it was just so much better when I was doing my makeup and doing this video. So I decided to do that today because I am so tired. I went to the gym, I came back, I slept for like 3 hours. Like, I didn't want to get up, but like I discovered that after today I won't be able to record this any longer. So let's get right into it. Today we're actually going to talk about how Semen and pubic hair solved a 33-year-old murder. In case you're wondering, this case has to do with that of a child, of a minor, and if you're not comfortable with that, I would advise you kindly swipe away, and then like we'll see you next week. So literally this case has like little information, and when you check YouTube for videos are like only like 3 minute videos, and like I'm not seeing someone that's giving like an in-depth information about this case, but I was able to get what I could from different sources. I just decided to just put them out here for you guys. Secondly, if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel. If you care, like this video, because like I really do appreciate you guys. So like I said, today we are going to talk about how semen and pubic hair solved a 33-year-old murder. So it was September 23rd, 1986, and this was around fall, and there was this girl called Caitlin. Caitlin was just 11 years old, and like she was walking home from school. So Caitlin went to Ponus Ridge Middle School in Norwalk in Connecticut, and like literally like this was her second week there. According to sources, like the journey from her school, there was like a longer route, like there was always longer route, but Caitlin had found like a shorter route to her school from home. And for the past 2 weeks, this has been the route that she has been using all this while. So according to Caitlin's mom, when once it's 3:15, Caitlin is home. Like the Caitlin's mom said that Caitlin was not this kind of child that would be roaming after school, that like when once school was over, she found her way home. But on this day, on September 23rd, when it was 3:15 and Caitlin was not home, Caitlin's mom, like she had like this instinct, like this inkling that something was wrong. 3:30 p.m. Caitlin was not home. At this point, her mom was like, you know what, there's really something wrong with my daughter, because this is not the kind of child I have. When one school closes, my child is always back at home. Like, it never ever exceeded like 3:15. So once it was 5:12, Caitlin's mom couldn't stand any longer, so she went to file for a missing persons report. And immediately police had, from several units, they had dispatched to look for Caitlin, and there were about 70 police people that actually went to go and look for this girl. They searched everywhere, they searched the woods. People in the whole community, they also came out to look for Caitlin, but they couldn't find any trace of Caitlin. It took the police and the community 12 hours straight to look for Caitlin, and they didn't find anything, any trace of Caitlin. At 3:35 a.m. the next day, they had found Caitlin in a secluded wooded area, which was just 158 feet away from the path she used to walk home from school. Her battered body was found under a pile of foliage, and they found her half clothed. So in investigations, like when they're looking for a missing person, and most times when they find the missing person and the missing person is half clothed, like this raises suspicions of sexual abuse. Maybe the person was sexually abused before the killing or after the killing. So when once they found out that this girl was half clothed, it just, everybody just knew that yeah, she was sexually abused either before she died or after she died. When they found Caitlin's body, she literally like had a large rock that was placed on her chest, and there were like scars all over her body, and it was found out that she was strangled to death, and there were like ligatures on her wrist. Her cause of death was asphyxia due to ligature strangulation, and this was determined by a medical examiner. Over the years, the police, they had collected like tons of evidence. They had reported like mounts of leads. There were hundreds of appeals to people that if you know who did this, if you suspect anybody, please come to the police. The police had done so much appeal to find who the culprit was, but yet literally they found nobody. There were lots of suspects, but the main person the police had suspected was a 21-year-old man whose name was Macaron. Macaron, he was convicted of kidnapping and raping an 18-year-old girl in January that same year, and literally the case between the 18-year-old girl that he raped and Caitlyn, it was kind of similar. It looks like a copycat crime. So that's why he was the main suspect. But the only thing was that they did not find like enough evidence for them to arrest him, because but the police, they knew that yes, he's the one, he's the guy we're looking for. But when it came to Caitlyn's case, there was no evidence. And don't forget, like, this was in the 1980s. The technology then, forensic DNA, was not as competent and reliable as it is now. Macaron had lived 2 miles away from where Caitlyn had disappeared. And I also forgot to say this: when Macaron was apprehended, when he was convicted of the rape case in January, they only jailed him for 6 months and they gave him 2 years probation. Like, guys, that got me confused. They jailed him for 6 months and then they gave him 2 years probation. So detectives had questioned Karen, and when they questioned Karen, he was like that he knew nothing about Caitlyn's death. According to him, it was like that 4 days before Caitlyn was killed, he was in Caitlyn's school, but he went there to see the librarian and talk to teachers. So the detectives, they had interviewed the librarian, they had interviewed the teachers, and all of them said no, that Mark Karen is lying, that he did not come to the school, that he had not even spoken to the librarian that day. So according to Karen, on the 23rd, he was working on Connecticut Avenue and he was looking for a job. And the police, they did not buy this excuse, they did not believe him, and they collected his DNA because obviously they suspected him. But like I said, due to the fact that then in the 1980s the level of technology was not really as advanced as it is today, they really did not get enough evidence on Macaron. So my question is, this guy, like, the fact that he was a sex offender in January of that same year, he could still like say he went to his school. He was not registered as a sex offender, because sex offenders are not meant to go close to any school. You're not meant to go, I think, 10,000 feet or 1,000 feet, I can't remember, close to a school, especially like school for children. So this guy, I don't know. I literally don't know how they gave him just 6 months in jail, not even prison, jail. And then they gave him 2 years probation. Like, that literally it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. In April 1988, Macaron was arrested again for kidnapping and sexual assault of a 16-year-old girl. And in June 1988, he was also arrested again for kidnapping, sexual assault, and for possessing a dangerous weapon. So this guy could not just stay out of trouble. He could not stop getting in trouble. He could not stop sexually assaulting people. And I don't know like why they did not arrest him all this while. 2 years after he did this, they did not arrest him. Literally 2 months after they caught him, from April 1988 and June, literally 2 months or 1 month after they caught him for the 16-year-old person, he did it again like 1 month later, and they arrested him. Like, I don't understand the system when it comes to this. Like, I was confused. I'm like, how can you let a sexual assaulter, like a sexual assault person or whatever they call them, how can you let them go? Like, this guy has been committing this crime, and literally it's like they're just giving him a pat on his hand and like, don't do it again next time. So finally in 1989, Macaron was then registered as a sex offender. So many years had passed by, many years had followed, and macaron, like as the years had passed by, samples were taken from macaron to like determine the case of Caitlyn. But like then 1989, even in the 1990s, even in the early 2000s, DNA technology was not as good as it is now. After some years, many DNA pieces they had to be discounted because like some of them they were disrupted, like literally they were stained, so they had to like discount them. So in 1999 there were new forensic technologies that had come into place, and everybody was just so happy, everybody was just hoping that okay, hope this is going to bring justice to Caitlyn. Like the whole family, people that knew about the story, people were like, oh my god, okay, new technology has come, hopefully this will give us the closure that we need. In 2002, the case was transferred from the Norwalk Police Detective Bureau to Norwalk Cold Case Unit, and this case was then picked up by Lieutenant Art Wisberger. So we're just going to call him Lieutenant Art. So this case was picked up by Lieutenant Art of the Cold Case Unit. In 2003, there was a new DNA testing technology, and this DNA testing technology it was actually used to, in all cases, to identify DNA. So smallest to smallest and oldest to oldest DNA samples of DNA they were actually checked, and they were able to like discard like lots of evidences that did not match that of Caitlyn. So Karen, whose DNA was obtained years ago, was actually checked again. And due to this DNA technology, it was actually found out that his DNA sample was part of the 3% that could not be discarded. So literally, when they were checking for evidence over and over again, 3%, there was just 3% of people's samples, people's DNA samples that was linked to that of Caitlyn's case. So when they checked Macaron's DNA all over again, his DNA was part of this 3% that could not be discounted. So Lieutenant Art, he actually obtained warrants for Karen's DNA to be taken again, but this time he obtained warrants for it to be taken fresh. So literally this time he wanted the DNA to be freshly taken. So slowly and slowly there was improvement in technology, and there was like the results now were more accurate. So this time they could like rely on the DNA. Caitlyn, on the other hand, her clothes were preserved. They had preserved her clothes, and they were examined again using these new technologies that that had been released. In 2010, there was a DNA that came out, and it was touch DNA. This DNA was used to check the evidence on clothing and the fingernail scraping that was found on Caitlyn. And DNA from pubic hair and semen that was found on Caitlyn's clothes actually resembled that of Karen. But the only problem was that it couldn't be said if Karen was the only person that had this DNA, which I wanted to think about it. I was like, but at the same time, we have fathers, we have mother, like you share the same DNA with your dad. That's why you can do paternity test. So even though the evidence, the semen and the even though the semen and the pubic hair that they found on Caitlyn's clothes, even though it matches that of Karen, they were not like sure that okay, it was him. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like they had to be sure that okay, it was literally just him and not like a family member or his dad, because then he was 21, so I think he must have had a father. But this was by far the most accurate DNA testing that they could have done. Like they've done DNA testing like all over the whole years, like since 1986, and this was by far, in all their investigations, this was by far the most accurate DNA testing they had ever gotten during this whole case. In 2012, Macaron, he left Norwalk and he moved to Maine. And despite all this, like everything that the police had done, nothing gave the family of Caitlyn closure. Like they had no closure as to who killed their daughter. They had literally for years been searching for answers, but they had found none. In 2017, this Lieutenant Art, he wanted to close the case, but in pursuit of closing this case, he had to redo the whole investigation again. And he really wanted to give Caitlyn the justice that she deserved. So he started reinvesting the whole case. He started investigating people, started asking questions, try these people in the staff in Caitlyn's school, started trying to like get some leads, and some of the retired staff they had actually moved to new places because This is like literally a long time ago. So they had moved to new places, but even if like that did not stop him, he continued investigating the whole case, continued asking people questions. This detective, he took into consideration the false pretenses that Macaron had said back then in 1986. He put all this into consideration, how Macaron said that, oh, that he wasn't around when Caitlyn was killed. He only went to the school like 4 days before she had died. He didn't know Caitlyn or stuff like that. So he took this into consideration, and he also thought it was like, why would you say this, but then like your semen, your DNA is just there, like is everywhere, like your sample is just there, is the DNA proof is literally on her. And he took all this into consideration, and there was literally no way this man could rule out Macaron. So because of this, he just wanted the testing to be done just one last time. And this time he needed like fresh samples, since the old one that he had, since the old ones they were used all over and all over again. So he just wanted he wanted to dead this case, but he just wanted to dead this case with answers. So he obtained warrants for this guy's DNA to be taken again for the last time. So Norwalk officers, they actually obtained a new search warrant, and they went to go and collect Karon's DNA. When they went to Macaron, they had swabbed his cheeks, his inner cheeks, and then when they had swabbed his cheeks, the detective, they took the swab to the state forensic lab. Unfortunately, he could not be eliminated as a source of DNA. Should I say unfortunately? Unfortunately for him, but fortunately for Caitlyn and her family, he literally could not be eliminated, because like they had done this thing like over and over again, and it came out that yes, his DNA was the one that was used. And even the last time, like for the last time that they had decided, okay, let's do this for the last time, his DNA could not be eliminated. His DNA was literally what they were looking for. Not only did they look at the DNA evidence, they also looked at the geographical profile. He lived 2 miles away from where she was killed, where her body was found. And not only this, like he had also been convicted of other crimes. Earlier that year, he was convicted of raping and assaulting a young girl, and then like 2 years later, twice he was convicted of assaulting another girl. So because of things like this, they just couldn't rule him out, because of his history, because of the geographical location, because of how things like literally were. So they just couldn't rule him out, so he was convicted of the murder and the sexual assault of Caitlin Flynn. So, like I said, on the 13th of June 2019, he was actually convicted of this murder. And 31 years after the murder, like finally, they had gotten, like, her family had gotten some sort of closure, but obviously, they had not gotten justice by this time. Mark was convicted of murder under special circumstances and first degree kidnapping in Flynn's case. Let's not forget that before now, Karen was convicted of first degree sexual assault and first degree attempted sexual assault, and he was also convicted of other charges. So murder with special circumstances is an offense and is defined as homicide that occurs during kidnapping, sexual assault, or involves the death of a child under the age of 16. So that's what he was convicted of. And Karen was then extradited from Maine to Connecticut, where he committed the crime. If he's convicted, the punishment for the crime in Connecticut is life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. So he's most likely to spend life in prison. If he's in Texas, they would have killed him. Like literally, lethal injection, you'd have been on death row. But yeah, so guys, what do you think about this case? This case is a short one, it's not as long as my last video. And I don't know, I just feel tense doing this. I don't know why I feel tense. I don't feel like, you understand, free, maybe because I'm literally so tired. I'm so tired. I don't know why, but I am literally so tired. So guys, let me say why I changed channel. So you guys know that I love crime stories. Like, you guys don't even see a tenth of what I show you guys. like my friends know, like is, I don't want to say it's an addiction, but it's literally, nah, it's not an addiction. I don't think it's an addiction. It's like a part of me, a part of my life, and me coming here to tell these stories, like even if I get 1 views, trust me, I'm very happy because like it's what I love. It's like it's what I love. So I just try, like there's no friend of mine that come to visit me that will not listen to one crime story. It's not possible. Like who are you? So like even if you're not, you don't like crime stories, at least I'll be like one, just one, please. There are some people I never ever miss their stories because I just love, I just sit down and just research for crime stories. Is what I love. I don't mind re-listening to crime stories, watching documentaries and stuff like that. So literally my other channel, Jules Onuk, I've had that channel for a very long time, like 7 years now. And I feel like people there that followed me, they followed me for beauty content. And I started with beauty content in that channel, yeah. And as time went on, I didn't really feel the need to post beauty content there on my YouTube channel because it's not what I felt. Let's just say then I was like trying to understand myself. I love beauty, I love doing makeup and everything, but like literally, I enjoyed posting the videos on there. I had like a reasonable amount of views, but then I don't think I felt as satisfied as I do feel now. So I switched. I used to post beauty and vlogs there, but then like I have a vlog channel now, which I love so much. I don't even care if I have like 1 subscriber there. Like I treat that as a baby. In case I'm not following, this is it somewhere in the screen. Jewel Onuk, vlogs by Jules. I really love that channel so much. So I started uploading my crime stories there, and then like one day, not like even before now, was like people that followed me did not follow me for crime, like they followed me for vlogs and beauty content. So like before now, before I made this decision, before I even started posting crime stories, even last year I had this discussion with my friend. I'm like, see, I think I should start all over again. But then I was scared to start all over again. So one day, I was like, you know what? Let me just start all over again. This channel is simply for people who love crime stories, who are genuinely following me because of these stories, who wants to share in my passion. Even if it's one person, trust me, I'm so happy. Even if it's half person, even if it's 2 people, trust me, I'm so happy because this is what I love. This is what I love. This is what gives me joy. Do you understand? Listening to these stories gives me joy. It makes me think. It makes me like I'm an overthinker. Guys, let me just do this and get back. It makes me think. It makes me aware of my environment. So literally I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for people really, really enjoy this. Not because I have like more subscribers there. I want to start from the scratch with my passion. I also decided that I'm not going to really promote this page like that. Like I want people to find me. Do you understand? I want people to find me and be like, oh, I want people to follow me because like they believe in me, not because like, oh, me, let me just follow her, and then at the end of the day, I found Eleanor through my friend, and I've watched all her videos. Like I'm literally like always waiting for that girl's video. I listen to Crime Junkie, like I listen to so many people, Brittany Vogue, Bailey Syrian, you understand? But literally the person that made me put out start doing this whole crime story thing was Crime Junkie, the podcast. So I wanted, initially the plan was to start a podcast. That was the plan, but then like I didn't know how to go about it. So my friend Mercy, she was like, why can't you start it in form of a YouTube channel? And then that's when she told me about Eleanor. I fell in love with Eleanor, and then another friend of mine, 18 book, told me about Bailey Syrian, and I fell in love with her. So every Monday I listen to 2 crime stories, Crime Junkie and Bailey Syrian. So if you like what you see, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. I promise I'm not going to disappoint you guys. This is my passion. This is what I love. So literally, I'm going to put everything I have into this. Wait, let me do my my liner, because I don't want this thing to flop. So guys, lately I've not been feeling lashes, so this is how I go about without lashes. I've not been feeling lashes, but soon I'm going to do normal Russian lashes, but I've not been feeling like those strip lashes. They annoy the hell out of me, and I literally don't want to get angry, so that's why I have kind of stopped using it and just been concentrating on just going without lashes. And I look-key like it. I don't know why, but look-key I like it. So guys, let me just finish this and come back to you guys. So guys, I'm done. I feel I look weird. I feel like I look weird, but like on the camera I think I look weird. Should I zoom this closer? Yeah, on the camera I look weird, but in mirror I look okay, I look good, but in camera I look weird. Oh well, I don't know. I need to actually even get a new lens. Yep. So subscribe so that I'll get a new lens. So guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by. So guys, if you feel like this is something you'd want to engage in, kindly subscribe to my channel, like this video, you can share, you can comment, spread the news to your friend. Now I actually look weird on the camera. Please, please, please. I look weird on the camera, but I look good in the mirror. Anyways, so guys, so thank you guys. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like this video. Don't forget to follow Vlogs by Jules and Joel Onuk, and you can also follow my old channel, Jules Onuk. I think I'm going to convert it into something else. I don't know for now. I have an idea of what I want to turn it into, but now I literally do not know, so if I should go on with it. So yeah, so kindly subscribe to my channel, like this video, and see you next time. I really do appreciate it. Bye.